Well, hello, yo. On today's episode, we're going to talk about Zepbound and Thanksgiving with Mr. Freddie and Wilma. Y'all know I love me some Moira Rose. We're gonna talk about Thanksgiving while I do some meal prep together and get ready for today's lunch/snack. I know many of you guys have been asking about Thanksgiving and the holiday season, Christmas, Hanukkah, whatever you believe, whatever your belief system, but specifically for handling the holidays over the next coming 6 weeks, kind of what my game plan is and what I'm gonna be doing to have the best success so I continue to lose weight and get past 100-pound weight loss on Zepbound. And so I wanna encourage you today's video that, is that mold? Oh man, I hope that's not mold. Did I just wash that off? That was disgusting. So we're just gonna dive in here on the floor with the kids. Here's Wilma. If you guys haven't met her, she was our foster, but foster failed. We've adopted her, and Mr. Freddie, my co-host. And it's tilted the camera because she's right here and she's wanting to be tilted. So Thanksgiving, I want to encourage you, wherever level you are with your weight loss, to have a plan. Whether you want to go balls to the wall, whether you want to have a more structured and eat healthier kind of Thanksgiving. But I really want to encourage you, from my experience, strength, and hope, and again, this is never medical advice, I want to encourage you to have a plan of however that is for Thanksgiving for you. For me, I fully am going to enjoy our traditions, enjoy the food, I'm going to savor it. As long as I'm savoring it and not stuffing, I think that there's a big difference in that. And so for me, having one day with that for Thanksgiving, we will get leftovers to have for the next day for lunch, and then I'm done. And then I'm not going to keep prolonging it. And if the leftovers then include things like good protein like turkey or with vegetables, great. Those will stay and those will remain. But if it's other things, like in our family, we have certain traditional dishes, come from a Southern cooking family, that are not healthy, they will go. But on Thanksgiving and then the day after for lunch, I personally will be partaking. Maybe for you, you want to take a different direction and you won't be partaking. For me, this will be my second Thanksgiving, though it's been 23 months. When I have smaller portions, I went from eating this much and having plate after plate after plate on Thanksgiving. Now my portions are so much smaller. But here's the deal I want you to think of, is one, being intentional, whatever you choose. Do you mind not licking your butt on camera for your major debut? Her major camera debut, and she's licking her butthole. I sincerely apologize, friends. We are classier than that here at the Countess of Shopping. We're working on it. She's 8 months old and she's new. The first thing I want you to do is be intentional. The second thing that I really want to encourage you to do, be mindful of gastrointestinal issues. We have with Zepbound and Mounjaro diarrhea, nausea, constipation. We have those as our 3 side effects. We know that those are going to happen. Usually, not we know, but they're the most common side effects. For me, when I do have diarrhea, nausea, and constipation, at this point on Zepbound 15 milligrams, it is self-induced. Perhaps, I think sometimes when people are eating certain foods, they're like, oh, it's Zepbound, oh, it's Mounjaro. From my experience, and I should be using my I statements, not saying you, I have had over Zepbound 2.5 milligrams all the way up to Zepbound 15 milligrams. When I have had, not severe, but when I've had diarrhea, nausea, or constipation, frequently, not all the time, but frequently it is because of food choices. So my encouragement to you is for Thanksgiving, if this is your first Thanksgiving, having things that may cause you to have blowout diarrhea, and then you get blowout diarrhea and you're like, oh my gosh. Well, did you have those biscuits with gravy and butter? You know what I mean? Like, certain things can be very triggering for a tummy that could be slightly sensitive. And therefore, I want to encourage you of maybe then having that, but just having a smaller portion of it if you know that you're prone to having diarrhea, nausea, or constipation, and not being surprised then when it does come and you're like, oh my word, I need to go to the bathroom. Because not that happened to me at Ruth's Chris one time from a holiday of eating a buttered steak. She was agreeing with me. She's like, yeah, that's right. You had that butter steak and you got blowout diarrhea. And I'm talking about my poop on the internet, and I'm very embarrassed for myself that I'm even doing that. But I'm using myself as a guinea pig and as an example and being embarrassed about it, so don't judge me. I'm using myself as an example, but don't be surprised when you have a buttered steak at Ruth's Chris and it comes out sizzling. And if you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. And then you're like, oh my gosh, I'm going to go in the bathroom in my pants. And that's so gross and so disgusting. But I'm saying that again, I'm sacrificing myself. I'm putting my knees up for barrier of why did I just say that? I better edit this part out of the video. But I'm saying that to say side effects are real. We have heightened side effects, but for me, they can be aggravated. And this is the whole enchilada in which I'm trying to get at. See what I did there with the food? The whole enchilada I'm trying to get at is I can make those side effects worse by my food choices for me. Certainly they are there because of the medications. Eli Lilly tells us in the literature there are side effects. But for me, they can be worse as a result of food choices. And on Thanksgiving, if I'm indulging in things that are buttery or sugary or things like that, baked goods, fried goods, buttery goods, gooey goods, creamy goods, it's gonna lead to some intestinal issues, and knowing that that is a repercussion that can happen as a result of that. I'm also okay with foodie here. I worked really, really hard in healing my relationship with food. And so that, in addition to savoring it and then being able to cut it off, and that's tip number 3 of being like, okay, I'm good. Like, I had my plan. I've stuck with my plan. I don't feel deprived. I feel like I've done a good job. That's part of the plan. Number 4, a good walk. A good walk. There's so much data out there. I talk about walking ad nauseum, and I think people are like, oh my gosh, that's so elementary. No, it's not. Actually, no, it's not. Being morbidly obese and being able to walk and then not, like, I would huff and puff walking up the stairs. Y'all, you guys, we talked about this before. Walking up and down the stairs and me being like, or in previous YouTube videos, if you go to my old YouTube videos where people are like, you breathe so loudly. And I'm like, I know, I would literally hold my breath so people couldn't hear me on video breathing so loudly. I don't think I have that anymore. Tell me in the comments if I'm still a heavy breather, if I'm a heavy panter. I think I don't. I think I don't. But now I can easily walk 5-6 miles. I'm walking these kids. We just got back in from another walk, for my 3rd walk of the day. And it's not even like, you know, I was trying to make my cucumber snack. So number 4 is go for a walk afterwards. It will make you feel better. The fresh air will make you feel better. The vitamin D from the sunshine. If there's no sunshine, just getting that fresh air. More and more and more studies are coming out also for our kids. I want my kid to see me walking because I want him to see his mom mobile, moving, that is just normal for our family to move our bodies and enjoy moving our bodies, making it a family dynamic. And I know this is number 5 is this holidays can be tough, man. Acknowledging that this is the anniversary. Today is the day that I'm filming this. It's not coming out on the day of my daughter's anniversary of her death. And this is a tough time of year for me. I get sad, and leading up to it, really, I get more sad. Like at the beginning of November to now, I get really like, and the world in itself has been, and so getting out of this groove, it's been weird. It's just been weird. And so the holidays can be weird for people. So if that's you, extra grace, extra love, extra kindness, extra compassion. I have felt myself getting agitated. And so if you feel that way during Thanksgiving, really leaning back into being grateful, leaning back into being thankful and combating that. And for me, having these minor agitations, I'm like, it's not the people that I'm agitated with. There's stuff going on within me that my emotional management is not the way that it normally is because I'm sad and I'm grieving still. And I will grieve. I will continue to grieve. Pops up at the weirdest times of where I'm like chokes me. And this year, I think, is the first year, it's 6 years, of where I can really be able to at least even talk about it. I mean, I've talked about it clearly, but like talk about it more because I would break down and I couldn't, or I'd feel horrible. Like it's just, it's awful. It's awful. And so I want to encourage you, if the holidays is hard for you, recognizing that, but you don't need to eat over it or stuff your feelings. And quite frankly, on Zepbound, I really can't anymore. I can't binge eat the way that I did because it will physically come back up. I've gotten to that point several times where I've tried to binge eat and my stomach was like, I'm gonna yak it up. And then I had like really bad intestinal issues after that. Next tip is the perfect travel case for your injections. If you're traveling for Thanksgiving, I will link them down in the description link below. I've done other videos on this. Sorry, the camera is so crooked. I have a clamshell case. There is an updated one that I will link down in the description link below. It's an Amazon link. Click the ... more button and you can get it. It has on there, you want to test it beforehand without putting your pens in there. If your pens freeze, you have to throw them away. These have freezer packs in them. It keeps the temperature on the front of it and it is TSA approved. I've taken it through TSA, no problem. And it has the gel packs on there. Just make sure the gel packs are frozen when you go to the airport. Technically, your pens can be without refrigeration for 21 days. However, for me, I want them to be at optimal level. I don't know if that affects the optimal level or not. To me, it just is weird. Like, this is where I don't have enough information on it, but from what I have extensively read over the last 23 months, is that it can be out of refrigeration for 23 days, but it can, or 21 days, 23 days, 21 days. What did I just say? What did I just say? I just said what it was. It can be 21 days out of refrigeration, but it's supposed to be refrigerated, right? And so I want it to be at optimal level. So I'm going to try to keep it refrigerated and keep it cool. And once I get to my destination, I'll put it into a refrigerator. I know many of you have traveled this summer too and already have this case. And many of you have vouched for what an awesome travel case this is during Thanksgiving season. If you're going somewhere, take your pens with you. It doesn't, and it also fits compounds. So if you're on semaglutide, take the semaglutide vial and syringe. If you're on Zepbound 2.5 milligrams or Zepbound 5 milligrams, the syringe and vial, it fits in that. It all fits. So pens or the vials and needles all fit. I always take with me the prescription label on my, like the pharmacy label. I put that in my clamshell. The clamshell is hard. And so when I'm on the airplane, I simply put my bag at my feet so it's not in the overhead bin, because other people can hit that overhead bin. I don't want people hitting my overhead bin. So having it down at my feet, then I can control who's touching my bag, which is me, i.e. me. But it does have glass in those pens, the Zepbound pens or Mounjaro pens. And so I want to protect the glass on it with that clamshell case. That one has worked the best for me, having traveled, I extensively travel for work. So bottom line, it can be a tough emotional time. Tip number 6 is medication. Because pharmacies may be closed with the holidays, plan now. Figure out when you're going to refill. Your doctor's office or your healthcare provider who gives you your medication, may be closed or on backlog because people are off. Expect it to be a slower time because they may be shorter staffed. And then also at your healthcare provider, and then at the actual pharmacy or shipping place or whatever. And I know that this is the busy time of year, so that you get it shipped, just expect delays. Expect it to be busy, expect it to be slower, and then give those people grace, love, kindness, and compassion with it. But just expect that it could take longer to get your refills for your medication. I know I am. I'm actively looking right now at my planner. I'm like, okay, well, when's Thanksgiving? I know my shot refills around there, so I need to plan now. I need to figure this out now, so I'm not having this last minute like, oh my gosh, henny penny, the sky is falling, I don't have my medication. We're already in, Eli Lilly tells us we're not in a shortage. In my area, it is still challenging to get medication, so therefore I'm planning around a shortage, even though Eli Lilly tells us there's not. I have in other videos, if you do actively experience a shortage, to still report it, but I digress. Next tip, the new traditions you wanna do for Thanksgiving. For me, embracing this new lifestyle and new changes is way different than it was 2 years ago, 3 years ago. I'm making substantially different choices. A friend had recommended doing a turkey trot, and I was like, HE double hockey stick, no, I'm not doing that. But I was super interested in okay, what do I wanna do instead? I'm not a turkey trot kind of gal, but maybe you are. Maybe that's your new tradition, that you want to start doing turkey trots. Or maybe it's walking with your family, or it's going bike riding, or whatever. Is there a new tradition that fits in line with your values, this new lifestyle of what you deem and what you choose, that you'd be interested in trying and doing? That would be my biggest encouragement for you. For me, it's having really good food on Thanksgiving, high-end, top tier, and then calling it quits and being like, okay, I'm good. Let's go back to the original programming. I do have other things right back here, and you guys have seen the picture of my free encouragement group, which I'll link in the description link below. I'm very behind on letting people in the group. Thank you for all of your grace. Again, with my daughter's passing, I've been slow on that, so thank you. But you do need to apply. It's totally free for the Facebook private group. But in the free private group, I went through in detail about my hydration station and protein station back there. It's one of several. It's this one. For me, this Thanksgiving, really deep diving into things that are in line with my new lifestyle, like protein, pumpkin shakes. Love them. I have a couple over here too. I have 2 different brands that I've really, really enjoyed doing. I got the eggnog shake from Clean Simple Eats. Use the discount code QUEEN. I'll link that down in the description link below with all of their protein drinks, their clear protein drinks that they have. I like the taste of those quite a bit. They're whey protein. So doing that during the holiday season for me has brought me great joy. I could not do that last holiday season because this is my second full holiday season. I started in January, so the holidays were over. That last one was a doozy, by the way. Morbidly obese, no GLP-1 medication. Y'all, I went to town, I ate, and I didn't care. I mean, I did care, but I ate whatever I wanted. And then I felt such remorse, guilt. It felt awful. I don't wish that feeling on my worst enemy. But last holiday season, I could not do things like pumpkin protein drinks and be excited about it, or eggnog protein shakes. I am so excited for this eggnog protein shake. 2 people sent me the recipe for eggnog protein ice cream. I'm like so excited. I'm like a kid at a candy store. I'm like, yes, but like those are falling in line with my new values on this, not values, but my new belief system and lifestyle changes that I'm actively making that I'm really pumped for. So what can you, to wrap that up, what can you be pumped for on this new lifestyle change? What makes the best sense for you that you want to start implementing as new traditions for yourself or for yourself and your family? For me, I'm like, I'm just going to tackle myself. The best representation I can be is taking care of myself. And that is the best leadership for my family of me walking the walk and not talking the talk, if that makes any sense. So me not making them do any particular thing or like going on this elaborate walk or doing these things. I'll do it if they want to join me, great, but I will do it for myself. And that is going to be the best representation. And so what new tradition can you start this year? Is it just one thing that you can do? For me, really and truly, walking these dogs and being able to walk 5-6 miles now every single day to walk these dogs, because she's 8 months old and she has to walk. And he's nuts. And if he has to walk too, as a 3-year-old, what are you willing to do or want to do that makes sense, best sense for you? Next tip is soups. I'm in my soup era. I am in my soup season. I was sharing about how much recently I have loved the Costco organic vegetable barley soup. I'm not sponsored by them at all. Just really love the soup. It's only 70 calories for 1 full cup. So it's a lot of food and a lot of fiber in it. And you can add to it protein if you wish. But soups, is that helpful for you if your tummy in particular is hurting? Maybe that's something that's helpful for you. We can make Thanksgiving one day. We don't have to make it where it's this whole baking extravaganza and things like that. And some people can, by the way. This is the new thing that I had learned was I can make baked goods and like traditions from my grandmother's recipe that have been in our family for generations. That literally like use ham hock from our farm from like decades and decades and decades ago. Like crazy yummy good foods that are generational that I'm really, really excited to cook and show my kid how to do them too. And so I'm pumped about that. That doesn't really trigger me because I can have a small portion of it and be good and put it away because of the GLP-1 medication. Fully can recognize that that is one of the gifts of this tool is that I can do stuff like that without me eating the whole thing. And I can be like, okay, I can have 1 or 2 and then throw the rest of it away or give it away or whatever. That is very comforting and amazing. So one of the things that I want to encourage you with is, can you try to push your comfort zone a little bit this holiday season? Whether it's doing something physical, whether it's something associated with food, can you push yourself a little bit to try something new with your new lifestyle and see how that works out for you? Maybe it fails, maybe it doesn't. Maybe it's a new thing where you're like, oh my gosh, it was really, really cool. And I think the biggest thing for me is focusing in on the gratitude and giving of the thanks for me. And not to get too like woo-woo or whatever, but man, I'm so thankful. I say it in almost every video. I am so incredibly grateful for this community, for you. If you're still watching this video, I love you. I care about you. I am cheering you on. There is so many of you that, and it literally makes me weep in tears of how many encouraging, fabulous Count and Countesses there are out there. Please know I truly do care about each and every one of you. Your comments, I may not answer all of them, but I do read them. And I sincerely, like, my family and I are like, whoa, we have the best community here. So thank you first and foremost for that. And secondly, know that you're not alone. It may feel like you're alone at pockets, but you're really not, truly. And that free encouragement group, you can talk about things and encourage people and new lifestyle tips and choices. I know some of our group members last year were like, okay, what are the best sheet pan vegetable recipes we can make? Or what are some of the healthy choices that we can have in addition to having like the mashed potatoes and stuff like that? And so I want to encourage you with that too, of what can you do? I know the camera's crooked, sorry, just realized that. I can't make it straight with this stand so I can get the dogs in, so forgive me. I told you it was going to be a little bit of a chaotic video today, but that's okay. It's okay. And I'm not refilming this. I don't have time. The Duke is coming home from school and I'm going to greet him right as he comes in. So I want to encourage you. And also the other thing I want to encourage you to is I have had family members at the holiday season in particular be brutal to me about my weight. And I don't know if you can relate to this. I've left this for the last part because usually a lot of people dip out in the video and you may not. So if you stayed this long, you get the juice, you get the goods here. This is, we'll lean in of like real talk together. I've had people be brutally mean where I've had to excuse myself from the table and go cry in the bathroom because I'm like, that was mean, like really mean, unnecessarily unkind for no reason. And I've come to find out now, I know it is their deficiency and their problem within themselves, but at the time it did not feel that way. It felt like horrible. And it's still looking back, I'm like, I just want to give myself a hug. I'm like, that was really mean. There's no reason to say it. So if you're around family members where you have to be around them this holiday season, or friends that you have to be around, like certain people, like coworkers or whomever, where you have to be around them, it's not a choice, limit the exposure, protect your peace, because I still don't want to eat over it. And I don't eat over things anymore the way I used to, but I can still eat over calories. And we know, well, we know because I did a video on it, so maybe you didn't watch that video. So maybe you don't know. But an extra 250 calories in a 2-week time frame leads to a 1 pound weight gain in 2 weeks. And so me just nibbling here and there mindlessly or superfluously, no, that is going to sabotage my weight loss. And so if someone hurts my feelings and I go to food to help comfort myself, that's not helpful. And so at Thanksgiving, if you're around people who are difficult or unkind, recognizing, like for me, my recoil is to step away and go remove myself. And then I will go pray for them. Pray to go hit by a bus. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just joking. I was just joking. I would never say that. But I really, no, not really, but I will try to go pray for them. That takes a lot of spiritual practice that I'm sometimes not there. Sometimes I am and sometimes I'm not. I aspire to continue to be in that space always, but I'm not always there. But that gets out of self because they're just hurt people hurting other people. And again, I told you not to get too woo-woo on it. But if you're on Thanksgiving, sometimes you can be around family members where you have no choice. Not that I know from experience. Of people that can be really unkind and freaking mean and brutally mean. And so it's not my choice, but it is my choice. And so retaking back my power and wishing them well. My kid, when he was in school, his teacher taught him the song, the We Wish You Well song. We wish you well, we wish you well, all through today, we wish you well. And so in my head, I'll sing that. And limiting my exposure and just feeling, okay, and just listening and not talking. And that for me is somewhat of a coping mechanism. And then you can go BITCH about it in the free encouragement group. No, I'm just kidding. But again, and I will pray for them. Maybe some people are not in that space. And I'm not sometimes either too. I'm not there either too. I try to be. I definitely try to be, but I'm not always there. And so just recognizing again, there's a mixed bag at holidays and pictures you see on social media are not always true. I know I'm going to post a really pretty picture and they'll probably within the holidays, there's some tears at some point for me because holidays can be tough for all people. So, but I am so grateful for this medication. I'm so grateful. I will be monitoring my food choices in terms of, I'm going to be digging in, honey. Give me some extra mashed potatoes. Give me some of that sweet potato casserole with the extra crumble on top. Yes, please. I'll take 2. And I will be also having my shot day. I need to double check the calendar. If I need to prolong my shot a day or 2 so I can eat a little bit more, I will. Some people don't want to do that. And that's totally too. It's totally, you talk to your healthcare provider. For me, if it's like, my shot day falls on Thanksgiving, I may have it on Black Friday. I'll be working a ton, by the way. For me, work starts, I'm a video marketing strategist. And so I've been doing this for a long, long time now, for over a decade, more than a decade of working on Thanksgiving night and prep for Black Friday. So here at Countess of Shopping, I will be posting all of the deals. Expect a YouTube video in the free encouragement group. And if you're on my email list, I'll be sending the best ones and how they're applicable, those sales for Black Friday sales for our weight loss journey. There's a lot of good stuff coming up. I'm not allowed to tell, so I'm keeping that closed, but you do want to be on my email list and the free encouragement group and here on YouTube for sure. I'll be sharing all of them. There's some good stuff. I've been like plotting and planning to do my holiday shopping. And as always, I always appreciate when you guys use my affiliate links at no cost to you. Get a little extra commission from that. And that helps support these kids. It helps support their treat fund, which we appreciate. So, This has really gotten even more crooked. Is that possible that I could get more crooked throughout the video? Apparently. You too could be a janky YouTuber as well. Here, how about, what if I just twist it like this? Does that make it straighter? If we just talk this way, I can just go back into my Moira Rose voice. Hello, yo. We're crooked today. Okay, my sweet friend, our accountability question, what are you doing today to move you closer to your goals? And our emoji of the day is going to be pink. Whatever emoji is pink. The emoji of the day is pink. If you don't know what an emoji of the day is, it is our like signal to each other that you've made it this far in the video. It truly, the pattern recognition of seeing names over and over helps me to get to know you better because I do care about you. And then two, it's like our bat signal. I will pray over you. And if you don't believe in prayer, I'll uplift you in positive thought. A warm welcome to Miss Wilma. I think she has an ear infection. She keeps batting her ears on the ground. We just rescued her. Today's day 5. And she's an 8-month-old Great Pyrenees. And there's Mr. Freddie. So we have Wilma and Freddie. Get it? Like Flintstones. We're going to work on this whole setup here with a crooked camera. I appreciate your grace. I love you guys so super much. Be kind to yourself. Be kind to others. I'm Countess of Shopping. Count my blessings because life is delicious.